Hi everyone, I welcome you all to the second episode of the Collaborative Minds. Thank you for all those who have joined already. So let's give a couple of more minutes for rest of the people to join in. I'm Vandana Mohotare and I'm your host for the Collaborative Minds. Today we have an awesome guest along with us. We have Vinesh Balan and we are going to discuss the topics of immigration and job hunting, or rather job readiness, if I would say it appropriately. So as people are joining us, let's start with a little bit of an exercise again, so that we get into the mindset of what a lot of people around us are in. So I want you to imagine, I invite all of you to imagine that you are in a grocery store. Now, this grocery store you go to every day. You know exactly where the fruit section is, you know where the vegetable section is, you know where the daily need stuff is, where the bread is. So you know, you're well aware of how items have been placed in that grocery store. But that grocery store doesn't have a particular item that you're looking for, very specific. So now, looking for that specific item, or probably just out of curiosity, you want to go to another grocery store. You have to go to another grocery store. And then you go there. You know why you are there. It could be to find a specific item, or it could be just out of your curiosity to check out other stores to get a new experience. The reasons could be many, but you are in a new grocery store. And while you're there, everything looks different. Now, you don't know where the bread is, you don't know where the fruits are kept, you don't know where the vegetables are, and you are struggling. And when we are struggling to find something, our first reaction is to reject it. We kind of reject it. We think, I don't like this store. I don't know why did I come here. It's okay if I don't get that item, and things like that. Initial thought comes in like that, and we resist the change. Now, that's primarily the way. Now, manifolds, thousand times manifolds, is what happens when you move across countries, when you are used to living in a specific way of life, and then you displace yourself and you move for whatever reason that you have. You move into another new country and they have an entire different grocery store out there. So that's how an immigrant feels when he moves to a new country, no matter what the reason for the move is. So today we are going to discuss what is the mindset, how to embrace this change, and not just embrace it, but grow through it and still achieve the kind of goals and the kind of mission that we want to achieve for ourselves. And while we learn how to do it, we share it with everyone around us. So I would like to welcome our wonderful guest for today, Vinesh Valen, who is going to walk us through this journey, his journey. Now, Vinesh is a software developer by profession, helping migrants and international students. It all started from his frustrating journey and the thought that others shouldn't make the same mistake that he did. He founded Job Hunt 2.0 to spread the message on how to job search, and he organized over 50 events to help job seekers. These events emphasized on the importance of networking. With anything and everything that Vinesh does, he always tried to be the person he wished he was when he was looking for job. Welcome to the show, Vinesh.
Thank you so much, Vandana. I think you kind of solved my problem as in why do I go to that grocery store always, which is 5 kilometers away, even though there is another grocery store nearby. So I think you kind of fixed that problem for me already. Thanks for that. So thanks for that introduction, Vandana. Like you said, and that was beautifully explained how immigration works. It's exactly like the grocery store, and unfortunately, what is going wrong with most migrants is they expect grocery store to be in the same layout wherever they go. They expect things to be tuned for themselves rather than taking for a fact that you're in a different country, you're in a different culture, you have to adapt to their ways. We often, especially migrants, think, hey, this is the way it's been. So, if we roll through that, things will work out, which unfortunately it's not the case, right? So that's where a lot of things go wrong. And we'll take a deeper dive in that discussion today.
Wonderful. So I am facing some challenge again. I don't know why this happens with me. I kind of not am
This is
unable
a
to
new
hear you. So
grocery
I'm just
store.
going to try remove you from the stream and add you again. Is that okay?
Sure, sure.
Hello, Vinesh.
Is everything okay now?
All okay. So it's
Okay,
definitely a challenge from my end. All right.
that's
Thank you
all right.
so much for sharing
It's
that
it
with
was just a new grocery store for you, so it'll be all
a
right.
new grocery store. Very news. Exactly. That's what is happening.
Yeah.
StreamYard is pretty. It's a very cool device, a very cool system and a platform, and I'm still getting used to it. But a little challenges happen here and there. So welcome, a warm welcome, and I see a lot of people are joining in, and we're getting a few thumbs up. And
Whoever is watching it, please leave a comment. Please say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or wherever you are from. Like I say in my live streams, the more noise you make, the more people this video reaches to, and the more happier it makes us who are watching us, right? So please do make some noise.
beautiful, and yes, use this platform because this is for you. Our intention is to get as much value for you, so please feel free to pour in your comments, ask questions, and this is Vinesh, and we will try our best to get those answers to you. So Vinesh, let's start with a little bit of your journey before you reached Australia. How was life for you before you moved to Australia?
So I label myself as a typical software developer. I went to study bachelor's of engineering, computer science engineering, because everyone asked me to do that. I mean, it's not like I really wanted to do it. I just did my engineering. If you watch the movie Three Idiots, it's either engineering or MBBS. That's it, right? So went down the engineering lane, graduated from it, had campus placement and got a job there. And I switched a couple of jobs in between, but it was just being a software developer. And I am the best version of myself when I sit behind a screen. I'm not talking to humans. I code something and the computer does exactly what I want to do, right? Or sometimes there can be bugs here and there, but it's more or less my fault, right? So that is who I was before I migrated, and to an extent that was who I was even after I migrated. But we'll get to that later. But that is me, just putting a picture of what I was. I don't talk. I'm not a very social person. I'm a person who doesn't even know who my neighbor was. I just do my routine, go to work in the morning, come back from work, sit at home, watch TV, or do something. A routine, right? Just going with the flow. That was me.
And where were you back in India?
I was in Bangalore, based in Bangalore for about 6 years. I'm from Kerala, so I did my bachelor's from Cochin and worked in Cochin for about 3-4 months, and since then I was in Bangalore.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm sure most of us viewers would relate to it that even I am one of those people who did computer science engineering because that was the fun then. And
Yeah.
that way out. I mean, either you do engineering or you do medical or you do law. And I mean, there's just so many defined streams that we have to pick from. So I'm sure a lot of our viewers are going to relate with what you just said here. So when you decided you wanted to move to Australia, what made you decide that?
Um, to put it in a fun way, Bangalore traffic made me decide to move to Australia. But yeah, in a way, Bangalore traffic did. So
Did
it was about the quality of life, right? Day to day. I think both me and my wife switched jobs. We had well paid jobs over there. We had good money, but what do we do with that money? The quality of life that we'd get was not great. Traffic, pollution, everything. Yes, of course, we love the country, we love the food over there, we love going to places, but in the end, our day-to-day life wasn't so great. If you're in Bangalore, I used to live in Marthahalli. It's a struggle getting to office every day, right? And things like that. So those were the triggers for us to decide, hey, we have to look for something different. And when it comes to migration, I think Canada and Australia are the relatively easy options to migrate, and Canada is cold, so no, and here I am.
Wonderful. So it was a very conscious decision, well thought of, and you knew exactly what you're looking for. So
Yeah.
did you have a job when you were moving? Did you already have a
Sorry?
job? Did you already
No,
have
no,
no?
no.
Right. So you decided to completely bring about a new challenge and take on a lot of uncertainty.
Oh, yeah.
fearful? Was it fearful for you and your wife?
It was absolutely fearful. When it comes to migration, most just think about one thing: you have to get a job, right? And if you can get a job when we are overseas, that's the best thing. So we continue doing what we do to get a job. Apply online, look for people, connect to people, apply, and we that's how we started. We started researching, and Google is your friend when it comes to researching, and that's how I started. And I was fortunate or unfortunate in both ways, to find a career coach. The concept of a career coach then came across, who helped us, get our LinkedIn resume, who helped us kind of bridge the gap that we are going into an unknown place. So I think, in a way, I put the responsibility on someone else to make us feel comfortable, which was a wrong decision in the end. But that's the easy way to do it,
Mm.
and that's what I went with.
All right. And so thank you for sharing what you mentioned, that, when we are in kind of a space where we don't exactly know what to expect and how to go about, we usually try to find someone who has done it and reach out to them and see what we can do without knowing what we're expecting, because we
Mm,
don't really know. And it's
yeah,
only when you take that step is when you know whether you wanted to do it or not.
yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. And when you finally moved, so how was the experience to what you had imagined in your head, what you had visualized, versus when you actually moved? Was it similar? Was it different?
I believe I believe to say, I mean, I would like myself to believe that it went smoothly, but it did not. Like I said, I hired a career coach and gave the responsibility to him to make sure that everything was comfortable for me. I
Mm.
was doing what he said. I was, without even feeling it, because, yeah, hey, he's an expert. Just listen blindly to what he does without actually incorporating that with you. Like, he says, you have to pick the phone and make the call.
Mm.
Why? Why should I did not think about why. I just picked the call and tried to make
Mm.
a call. And if it did not work out, I blamed him again. Right.
Mm.
So if you don't incorporate that, any advice for that matter, even if I say 100 things over here, if you think, hey, Vinesh said that, so I'm going to do this, it's not going to work that way. You have to understand why each and every advice is coming. That's when things become gold. So when I moved in, fortunately, my wife managed to get a job within 2 weeks. I think we reached here on January 15th. February 1st, she started working. So that was good. And that gave me a picture that, hey, if she can find a work, it shouldn't be
Was
really hard for me, right? I mean, it shouldn't be. So I was just, doing the usual things. I was doing the things that he asked me to do. I was trying to call people. I was trying to connect to people. I was trying to apply things. And, just rolling about, hoping that things will work out, hoping that it will happen without actually trying to make an effort to understand what's happening or things like that.
Mm. Mm.
It ended up being a very frustrated job search journey. For me, it took me 8 months. We came here in January. I started working in September. So it
Mm.
took me 8 months to find work, and it was literally a roller coaster ride. And the journey that I went through then helped me transform myself to what I am today, which we'll get to in some time.
Thank you, Vinesh, for being so open about it. And what Vinesh mentioned about taking in an advice, right? So people would be telling us so many different things, but how we understand it and how we implement it to versus how we act on it are completely different aspects of it. So being able to accept that no matter you were getting the advice, but actually being able to act it in the way it would produce the most effective results for you, that itself is a huge realization. So through this, what was the actual trigger that led to the transformation?
Um, so, like I said, I was the best version of myself when I hid behind a computer. So I probably never dealt with humans, right? I don't know what's happening there because humans are not robots. When it comes to software development, I type code something and I know what the result will be. But with humans, it's completely different. You say something, you get something else. You never know what you're getting back, right? So I think during my frustrating job search, 6 or 7 months down the lane, I started sharing my story on LinkedIn. As in, I was frustrated like, I don't want to swear. I was frustrated like anything, and I just wanted to vent myself. So what I did is I used to blog long back. So I thought, why not share my story? And simple story. Why did I decide to move out? How did I get my PR? What are the preparations that I did before I came to Australia? What did I do in the first few days after I came to Australia? How did my job search go? Simple things like this. And surprisingly, it started getting a lot of attention. People started saying, "Hey, I'm going through this right now. Thank you so much for sharing." Or, "Hey, I'll be taking this journey up next month. Thank you so much for sharing this and making it easy for us." And I started liking that attention. I mean, that was different. I'm not used to attention, and I started liking that. And when I got a job, I started sharing more. Say, for example, I started sharing tips on LinkedIn that
Mhm.
your photo should look like this, your headline should look like this, your different things should look like this. And I started getting attention. I started getting attention again. In this 8 months of my job search, I'm a very uh, person high on introvert qualities. I don't just go and talk to random people, which you have to do a lot here in Australia. So I did not go for a single coffee catch up or a meetup when I was looking for a job.
Mhm.
So somewhere when I started getting this attention, I wanted to make it real, as in I wanted to meet people and get it real. So um, I think in December 2018, I put a post on LinkedIn saying, "Hey, would anyone like to catch up? We'd catch up in a food court or somewhere, and let's talk about what's happening in your job search." I know I expected, 2 or 3 people would come. We can have a coffee or something, and we can have a conversation. 39 people said they are interested in that, and that is when this got real. I was like, shit, this
Wow.
is real, right? And then within before I change my mind, before I go into my introvert shell, I said, okay, let me do something. Let me book a date. Let me book a room, and let's meet. So that happened in mid December. About 20 people came in, and we just shared our story, and the response was incredible. As in, people were relieved to hear that others are struggling. I mean, I know it's not a good way to put it, but people were relieved that they were not alone in the boat. There were a lot of people who are struggling, and probably struggling worse than them. And the kind of response that they gave me, "You're doing an amazing job," and the kind of smile that I bought on them, and the kind of relationships I built from that group. I remember the first time 2 people from that group went for a coffee catch up, and they shared a photo with me. I was like, I made this possible. I made that connection possible. I'm still in touch with a lot of people who we met in the first meetup. So those feelings were new to me, and I kind of got addicted to it, right? So then I started doing those meetups every month. Slowly it started getting bigger. I loved that attention. I loved that human interaction. I loved the fact that sharing something so simple, you're just sharing your story. You're not doing rocket science here. It's just your story would have such an impact on people, and it has snowballed to what I do today.
What a beautiful share there, Vinesh, and such an important message. Now, that is, people, that is the power of human connection. When we connect with each other, and it's not about the struggles, as you mentioned, Vinesh, it's not as much about the struggles, but it's knowing that you are not alone. What you are going through, no matter how specific you think it is, there are other people who are going through something either exactly similar, same, or similar to what you're going through. And then coming together, being able to openly talk about it, forming that inner circle of yours, and being really vocal and voicing your feelings. Once the feelings are out, then you can do something about it. So voicing those feelings and then finding a way out together, in getting inspired from each other, that's such a powerful thing to do. So I can see that on your face when you're talking about that. There's kind of, I would say, appreciation for not just what your the people who attended that job hunt event, but also what you were able to
Yeah,
achieve for.
absolutely. And to add to it, I said this with my earlier session in the Collaborative Minds when Pallavi interviewed me as well. When you share your story, realize that there are at least probably 10 people who are at a spot where you were 3 months or a year ago. When you're sharing a story, you're at least helping those 10 people not to repeat the mistakes that you did. That's the simplest thing you can do. Even if you think your story is unique, or there are a lot of lessons that you learned over a year or over a couple of years, and you can help others not to repeat that mistake. And that's that's really easy to do, right? And they will be forever, what's the word, forever
Grateful.
indebted to you, for the grateful for you to for doing that, because you helped them when they needed help the most.
Absolutely. And to add to what Vinesh just said, when you experience that, when you find that someone else has helped you, you also want to give that forward, pay that forward for someone else. So it's kind of starts a human chain where what you've received is what you'll give to others, and
Yep.
that's really precious. So now, about the mindset, about your mindset. So when you were looking for a job, and I'd like this for the for our viewers here, when you're looking for a job and in a frustrated state, so what was the mindset that you've had to get the kind of job that you wanted?
So I was still in my shell, I would say, when I was looking for a job. So I did not do anything transformative when I was job searching. I did not. I like I was just explaining it to you earlier, Vandana. I was being that fly who was hitting on the windscreen again and again. It was just trying to get through it by doing the same thing again and again. When you ask the fly, you are doing a lot of hard work, you're doing a lot of effort, and you're not getting any results. And as a job seeker, if the fly was a job seeker, you're doing everything you can and you're getting tired, right? So what's next for you? And that was exactly what I was doing too. But
Mm,
once I got a job and once I started talking to other people, I realized that, hey, all you have to find is that open window.
mm,
It's as simple as that. Just fly through it. It's an easy ride.
mm,
Unfortunately, most people don't consider it worth to brainstorm when it comes to job search. You think
mm,
job search is just a temporary phase, a month or two, and you just pass over it. You don't have to do some research, or you don't have to just apply, and one day it'll happen and you'll forget about it, right? That's the unfortunate mindset that most people have today.
mm,
Be smart about job search. It works different in different countries. So what I say today, tell you today, that you have to talk to people, you have to network. That might not be the case in India, right?
mm,
So be smart about whichever country it's going to and how the market works there, and adapt to it. Don't
mm,
stick to what you know, because you'll just be that fly. Keep hitting, and probably even frustrate and give up on it. So don't be that person. Have that, open your mind, talk to people. That a lot of people are ready to help. If you talk to me, any advice I give, I'll explain you why you have to do this,
sure.
because I've seen both sides of the world. I've seen why you're doing it. I've seen how you should do it. If you do things differently, how it'll be, right? So that change in mindset, it's really hard to come by, especially if you are a very experienced professional. You think that, hey, I have tons of thing on my resume and this should get me a job. Unfortunately, no. If you're coming to Australia, just having tons of skills and awesome achievements won't get you a job. It may get you a job, but it necessarily won't get you a job. So that's key over here.
Mm, wonderful. And what I love that analogy what you presented, where don't be that fly. You know, most of the people, most of us do that. I'm sure our viewers agree that most of us would try and go and go and go, hit the same thing, try and do the same thing again and again. Instead, if they just take a step back and see that where am I trying to go, and look for that specific window and just point and focus on getting through it, that's going to give them a better result than just going for the same thing again and again.
That gave me a different analogy. If you try to open the window and if you let the fly go out, the fly still won't go out. It'll still keep hitting. So be open to advice as well. Be open to advice as well. I talk to so many people. I spend like 10-15 minutes with them, and they think my advice is crap because I can't give them a job in the end. I'm not opening the window in the right in front of them, but I'm opening a window next to them. They don't want to see it. So it's very open to, it's very important that you're open to advice and you're open to receiving it as well. So thanks for
Love
bringing back that analogy. I love it.
love that. And it's great that you mentioned the point here that Yes, you need to know the why I am doing what I'm doing. At the same time, you need to be humble enough to know that somebody else has achieved what I have tried to achieve. So let me be and become curious to let me see what has he done that I haven't done. What
Yeah,
is it that I can learn from and include in mine? So there is the need of humility and curiosity packed together.
absolutely,
That uh,
absolutely.
do it. Wonderful. So I think yeah. So let's take the questions that we have from the audience here. I see there's one question wherein Varun is asking, can you share some tips for people struggling to get a job or a career growth opportunity amidst the pandemic? So,
So the situation we are in today, it's really hard. Jobs are being cut. A lot of people are being made redundant. It's really hard. First, first point to keep in mind is accept that. It's not like, okay, I need a job, so I have to try and I will get it. No, there is a huge thing called the pandemic going out there. So accept it that it'll be hard. You can't think that you do the right things and you will eventually get it, right? But that being said, don't go in the attitude that, hey, there are no job opportunities out there, so let me just sit back and watch Netflix, binge Netflix. That's completely wrong too. Right now is the perfect foundation, a perfect time for you to lay the foundation so that when the market comes back, you are ready with everything. Say, if you want to upskill, this is the time to spend time on that. If you want to talk to people, if you want to network, if you want to make yourself known out there, this is the time right now, right? it's a you have to do it with keeping in mind the fact that there is no pressure on you. You don't have the pressure to get a job within a month because it probably won't happen, but that means in that month you can do so many things without the pressure of having a result, right? So put your effort, have a strict plan, as in, hey, uh, I might not get a job now, but I have to prepare myself to do this, so that when the time comes up, I'm ready. I don't have to retrain myself at that point of time, right? So be ready, make yourself ready, so that when the opportunity comes up, you're ready for it.
that's amazing. That's an awesome advice, Vinesh. Thank you so much. And I had a question for you actually. I wanted to know how, when you were going through this state, of course you were there for so many other people. Were there people in your life who were supporting you, inspiring you, and mentoring you through this, whom you
When I
took
was looking for a job, or when I started doing this.
when you were looking through the job, even today? Like, who are your mentors and what's your support system like?
So my support system, so I am that kind of person, um, who doesn't have a role model, right? I remember when I was doing a public speaking course, one of the questions that I was asked is, who is your role model or who you are looking up to? I went blank, but I started talking. That's how you learn public speaking. You have to try and talk something. And the conclusion that I came to is, my role model would be myself in the next 5 years, right?
Wow.
So, what can I do, or who do I get that energy from? I get that energy from you. I mean, you as in the viewers who look up to me, or the viewers who I can help. You are my energy, as in when someone says, "Hey, thank you so much," or when you just smile for my what I say, that is what makes me happy, and that is what gives me energy to do more. There
Wow.
are a lot of people who are doing amazing work in this field. I just to name a few. I mean, I follow a few people on LinkedIn. Just to name a few, if you come across Austin Belloc, Byron Clark, Sarah Johnston, there's a lot of people in this field. But the mentor or the public speaking course that I went to is Jody. She kind of opened me up to a different world. I am still working with her. The important thing being here is the realization that had is I had is you have to invest in yourself, and that I think Vandana also agrees a lot. You think that it's okay to pay $1,000 to get a certification, technical certification, or I saw a post the other day who was saying, you it's okay to pay 50,000 for a degree, but when it comes to pay $500 for a job search career session, you say, that's waste. I'll just figure that out. I'll just get a job, right? So it's very important to find people who align with you and invest in that self development. Don't think that money is for a waste. When you take a self development course, you are growing one step better than how you were probably a month ago. So very important to invest on that.
Wonderful. I love that answer. And what you said about being the role model. So, knowing that there's the best version, there's a better version out there about myself, and having that better version as a role model, my God, that's such a key takeaway. When you
That's key when you're competing as well, right? You can't compete with the likes of, say, Tony Robbins, or you can't compete with them. Who You are your best competition. Your journey is unique. Your journey is what you make out of it. So how will you be 2 years down the lane? Do you want to look back and think about the things that you achieved, or do you want to look back and the things that you did not achieve compared to person X? That will set your path.
That's wonderful. I love the fact that Vinesh mentioned that you need to know, look at also yourself, your future version as your role model. And when you get there, then there will be another better version. So there's always going to be a better version. And that comes from investing in yourself, investing in your self development, not just going out and getting the technical things done or the skills. Skills are important as well. Definitely, we do need the skills, but skills are not enough. Ultimately, no matter what we learn, we are going to work with people and for people. So we need to know how we bring about the best human within us. So investing in ourselves is a key trait here. So now the floor is open. Do we have any more questions coming in from people? I see a lot of comments. Um, Nivedita Sushma here says, really brave to send an open invite for a meetup. Kudos for that. And the job search and the pressure is so
Thank you.
true.
Thanks
This
for
is
saying that, Sushma.
So, looking at Sushma's comment here, Vinesh, what would be the key mindset strategy that you would want us, our viewers, to walk away from this session with? What's that key mindset strategy to go for the job that they want for themselves?
First thing, it's not easy. Um, don't rely on luck. Do your research, right? A common thing that people do is, hey, I'll just keep doing, and one day things will click. And then you'll say, hey, I got lucky. For me, luck is not just luck. It's up to you to do the things, or to set the things straight, or set the environment right so that you maximize luck. Your work, as a job seeker specifically, unfortunately, your target is to just get a job. If you get a job, yay. Everything else is crap. You win something, you get through an interview, you get through a test, you were one of the two shortlisted people. Everything else, unfortunately, is a waste. It's a failure. Understand that each of these things are getting you closer to your destination. Enjoy the journey, not just don't just go in a mad race to reach the destination. It's just like taking a trip. If you're taking a 8 hour long drive, if you just want to get into the journey destination, you rather teleport over there. If there is a technology to teleport, just teleport over there. You won't know what happened in between that. You might have had beautiful scenery out there, beautiful oceans, beautiful nature, whatever. You're ignoring all those, and obstacles will be there. You have to overcome those obstacles, but the mad need for reaching the destination ruins that journey. So understand that job seeking is a journey. There will be obstacles. Embrace it, overcome it, celebrate the fact that you overcame it. Say, if you're going through Bangalore, you crossed Silkboard Junction. Be happy that you crossed Silkboard Junction. Don't be sad that for the fact that you did not you got stuck there for such a long time, right? So change that mindset. It's not a temporary thing. It's not like, hey, I have to reach there somehow. It's a journey, and everything you do counts. If you're doing the wrong things, if you're continuing to be that fly, you are going in a loop without reaching your destination. So look at it in a good way, do the right things, be humble, listen to other advices, and get there. That's very important. I understand this can be really frustrating if you are really struggling as a job seeker, and if you have other commitments like financial or personal commitments. I understand that this can be really hard, but bringing those frustrations into this won't help you in any way. Yes, I understand that you need extra money to survive for the week, but if you think about that and if you put that pressure on your job search, it's just going to make your job search even harder. So don't do that. uh, Make sure you're focused on one thing and go for it.
Beautiful. Again, another beautiful advice coming from Vinesh. Where there's a quote you brought up, Tony Robbins. I think it's a quote by Tony Robbins, where the energy goes, where the focus goes, energy flows.
Yeah.
So what is just pointed out, focus on enjoying the journey, focus on growing through from the journey, learning from the journey, than focusing on the destination. Of course, we need to know the destination to know where we are going, but not being too attached to the destination, but being focused on who we are becoming through that destination,
You
through
never
that
know,
journey.
the destination can change, just like both of us. Although we are software engineers, we are enjoying something else because of the choices we made, right? So unless you start enjoying that, you won't know.
Beautiful. One last question for you, which I had collected from a person who wanted to know. So, if somebody is new to this, as you said, it's in the beginning, it's frustrating. So, what would be the first point to get into this mindset? Of course, it comes with practice. It cannot just straight away one fine day happen and I'm good to go now. So, what will be a good place to just start?
Find a mentor. That's the easiest way to do it. You come to me. Just as an example, if you come to me, I will answer your questions in a way that you can understand it. Find a good mentor, and that mentor can point you in a direction, to go in a particular direction. Be careful of the word mentor. By mentor, I don't mean, there are people who are, resume writers, for example. They will just give you a document. That's it. But in the end, you have to walk the walk. Find someone who will help you walk the walk. Don't find that person who will take you and put you in that destination. That's not what you want. You're not getting anything out of it. Find a person who will say, go in that direction and you'll reach there. And and that person can help you reassure that you are on the right target, right? So find someone like that. That is the easiest way. And of course, if you want to go the hard way, Google is your friend. You have tons of information in Google or Facebook groups or wherever it is, but it's important that you are focused on someone. Like, for example, today you follow me, tomorrow you follow someone else, and then we give different advices and you're kind of lost. You're again you're accepting too much information and confusing yourself. So choose where you have to go, talk to someone about it. If you like them, stick to them and trust them and go with the process. That's very key over here.
That's a wonderful note. And on that note, I'm just going to repeat what Vinesh said here. Find someone who will help you walk the walk. How pure gold is that? Find someone and be ready to put in that trust. And here I'm bringing in the point of trust, because I think most of us, if we are not able to trust ourselves, we are not able to trust others. So trust yourself to trust someone else who has done it, who can get you the results that you're looking for. So
And
thank
it's
you, Vin.
key that just sorry, I interrupted you. It's key that you have to walk the walk in the end. The journey is yours. Yes, you can't say that, hey, I paid you $1,000, now it's your duty to get me there. That's not going to work. You have to walk the walk. The journey is yours. You define where is it that you want to go. It's all on you. And when you walk the walk, you understand the journey. Otherwise, you're still being on denial, as in what happened. You just got there. You're not growing at all. You're just being what you were, right? So it's very important that you walk the walk.
Awesome. So you know and believe that you have the power to create your own reality, and everybody else is around you to support you. But you have to walk the walk, as Vinesh said. So thank you again, Vinesh, for this amazing session and for this wonderful gold nuggets coming out of it. Thank you to all of our viewers to have engaged and come up with these wonderful questions to get the session going. And please feel free to reach out if you have any more questions related to job search, related to growth mindset, related to personality development, related to collaboration. Please feel free to reach out to us and we will support you in the best way possible. Also, I would like to introduce all of you to our next guest for the Collaborative Minds. She's a wonderful woman, Sandra DeBook. She's going to be our guest, and she has a message, this powerful message that collaboration starts from home. She believes in a life of connection, not of outcomes. So tune in for our next session and be prepared to get heaps and learn a lot on how we can start connecting more, collaborating more from our home. So thank you once again, and I wish you a beautiful weekend ahead. You take care, and we'll see you next week. All right. Thank you again.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.